YouTube. Damn, my shirt got shit all on it. Fuck it, it's cool. YouTube, what's good, man? It's another episode of The Grind. It's your boy Just Chill Will. But yeah, though, this video gonna be a little tutorial. It's a hot taper in the back, medium tapers on the sides. I'm actually recording the first part of the video, like the shit y'all see now. It's like a day after, so if you see like clothes ain't the same, or that's why. Man, I got all types of fucking hair and shit in my man. But yeah, though, that's why. Yeah, we just gonna get into it. Oh yeah, I ain't in the shop no more. I'm cutting off the basement now, but you know, like I said, y'all about to see every part of the grind, man. Y'all gonna see the good, the bad, the ugly. Y'all gonna see shit. Y'all gonna see how I look when the nigga gotta make do with what he got, you hear me? But yeah, though, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what type of content niggas want. For the most part, it's mainly just gonna be like barbering content. Like, I ain't doing no challenges and all the dance stuff. That ain't me. We ain't doing that, man. But yeah, though, like, subscribe, comment, and enjoy the cut. YouTube, what's good, man? As you can see, first I start off with really combing down and brushing down my client's hair, making sure I got a nice, easy canvas. And then you'll see me work with my 1.5, well, the one guard, but halfway open, to turn into a 1.5, just to knock that hair down some. Just start debulking it. And later on, you see I switched to 2-guard fully closed, just to debulk it a little bit better, and then I go back around with my 1-guard halfway open to get everything nice and even. After this step, I like to comb it down, clean the hair off a little bit, and start with my initial bald line. This one I'm doing, he likes a hot taper in the back and a medium taper on the sides. So my bald line in the back would be a little higher than usual, but that's what the client wanted. So after I get that ball line in set how I want it to be, I take the 1-guard fully open and just go against the grain and start flicking at the top, close to his, I believe that's called the orbital bone, close to that, just to start getting that blend in there. You want to make sure you really flick at the top to blend it. One important thing with blending, make sure you have a comb or make sure you have a brush handy. It's really up to your preference or whatever lies better with the client's hair. Me, with him, I'm really just using a brush because he got more of a coarse style of hair. So the brush helped me lay it down way better than a comb would. just for me. Some people it may be the opposite way. So just do whatever one of those techniques work best for you. Either the brush. I don't know what I was about to say. Either the brush or the comb. And my style of fading is a lot different than most people's. Most people try to show you guidelines and things like that. Me personally, I don't use guidelines. I feel like guidelines make all of your cuts look the same. So here you'll see me close the lever fully and just start flicking right below where I stopped at with the one guard fully open to start getting that transition and that blend in smooth. Throughout the course and the growth of my page, and once I get fully comfortable with recording and cutting at the same time, and you don't see me standing here in the camera the whole time, I'll start making tutorials with guidelines. Like I said, I can do it. It's just not my preference, but for more of like a beginner stage, it is very, very, very important that you know how to cut with guidelines. Because that from there, then you can transition and start fading and blending and doing all that stuff, however way it feels more comfortable to you. So I will be having tutorials of that pretty soon. My next step I like to take is throw my 0.5 guard on. While using the flick out motion, I like to go halfway between the ball line and the main bulk of the hair and just really flick at it and get that blend and come down smooth. I like to tell most beginner barbers, go over your work a lot. Like, don't worry about time and all that, especially not in the beginner stages of barbering. Really master your craft. If that means you got to turn a 30-minute cut into a 45-minute cut, 50-minute cut to get it to your liking, do that. With time, speed gonna come. So I want you guys to really, 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 really pay attention to your methods, pay attention to your techniques, pay attention to your blends, and each cut just try to make better than the last one, honestly. Here I took my guard off, and I'm going with the no guard, fully open. And just flicking at the bottom of there. This is the stage where you really try to get that hard line out. Get that first guide line, the ball line. Just really flick down at that, get that out as best as possible. I like to go lever open first, just to soften it up. Lever halfway open to kind of erase it a little bit more, and then lever closed. That'll get it down to the point I needed to be until I switch my clippers out and fully get it out. I do all my detail work with my Babyless Pros. I don't know, for those like this smaller teeth, it's a lot easier to get hard lines out and stuff like that. So here you'll really just see me knocking at that bottom ball line, getting that kicked out, and then you'll see me play around with the lever and just touch up my blade. That's another thing that you need to do. Touch up your blends. Use your corners, especially on detail work. Detail work is essential as a barber. That's the main thing that'll separate you from the next person, is how good your detail work is. And now you'll see me just going right back to my one guard all the way open. I'm gonna actually play around with this guard a lot just to really blend that in a little bit more, get a little bit more of the bulk off, and make sure it's a smooth transition. Now to the side taper fade. I told you this was more of a medium taper. I start off with my babyless liners, make my bald line, and then you'll see me go, once again, just like the back. One guard fully open, flick at the top, and just really start making that transition. I did switch over to my 2-guard open, and then I ended up closing it just to really make that blend and that transition a little bit better. Because sometimes you might have to go a guard up just to get hair blended the way you needed to blend or the way you wanted to bend. So never be scared. Use your guards, especially as beginner barbers. Use your guards. Get comfortable with your guards. Know what point to use what guard, or what point you can go guardless, and just really master your guards. And please note, between every few flicks of my wrist, you'll see me brushing. Laying the hair down is essential if you want that blend to pop out, if you want that blend to be different than any other barbers. Constantly lay your hair down. And you can see the blend starting to come into place as we speak. Now I'll go back to my 1 guard closed, and I'll flick about halfway between the ball line and where the main bulk of the hair is up top. And it's just, like I told you before in the back, this is really just a start your blend. Make it smooth, make it subtle. You don't have to jump from 1 guard open to 0 guard closed or half guard closed, whatever guard system you use. You don't have to jump between guards like that. Really play with the one you got. Really make sure everything's laying down smooth. At this point, I switched to my 0.5 guard. I have it closed. And once again, I'm just flicking about a little less than halfway between the main bulk and the ball line, just to, work on the fade, get it to come down a little bit, get it to blend a little better. You will actually see me using my corners to touch up certain spots above where I'm telling you guys to stop at. And that's just, that's just actually clean up work as I'm going, so that when it is for time for me to detail, I don't really have to detail as much. And right at this moment right here, you can see I took the guard off and went open, and just really start flicking at that bottom line to soften that up and get it up out of there. And you'll see me play with that. I'll go open, halfway close, then close it, and then I'll come back with my Babyliss Pros and detail everything and get the fade how I want it. As you can see, I like to detail as I go so that there's not that much detail work for me to do at the end if I do spot anything different or see anything I want to change or fix or tweak a little bit. But that's really up to your preference. You can either detail as you go, or you can wait to the end and detail that way. I know a lot of barbers that treat the whole cut initially as a rough draft, and then just come back in and fix it and blend it and do what they want to do after that. So I'm actually going to speed it up here because I'm working on the other side, and basically it's the same exact steps I just told you guys. What you do on the right, you do on the left. What you do on the right and the left, you do on the back, unless it's a higher fade, but you still keep the methods the same. So I just sped this up for you guys. Be back shortly. And I could not stress this enough. Brush the hair down, comb the hair down, take your time, and really get that blend to pop, especially for beginner barbers. Do not worry about speed. You'll have a lot of people telling you, oh, a cut need to be done in 30 minutes, a cut need to be done in 40 minutes. No. If you're charging $40, $50, $60, take your time and get that cut right, get the blend right. Give your client a reason to come back. While learning your craft, you just want to make sure you really do perfect your detail work. Like, that's probably the most important part. That's where the blend really pops and start coming together. That's the part that'll start separating you from other barbers. So when I'm preparing for a lineup, I like to use, I use a couple different little techniques. First off, I like to comb the hair down, get it laying and everything, and then come with a guard lower than what I had. So since I was cutting this hair to about a 1.5 length in the front, I'm using my 0.5 guard, lever all the way close, just to knock off all that overhang, so that when he's brushing his hair after I line him up, I ain't got to worry about the lineup coming out of tack or anything like that. And then after that, I spray everything down with alcohol. Come back, spray the front with Sprix. Well, I got to be glue. Any holder glue you use. Me, in this video, I believe I use got to be glue. I don't really like it. When you do use got to be glue, I suggest you use like a very, very thin layer of it, because it get messy. And it'd be a lot of stuff you got to clean up at the end, as far as like the hole and spray on his forehead and all that, get to sticking and rubbing, and it's bad. So whenever you use a holder spray, use a very light, very light amount, and it'll get the job done. So me personally, I like to start behind the ear, get that lined up first, and then go to my C cups, and then do my C cups. Then slide to the other side and do the same exact thing. When you're doing this, you really just wanna take your time. You wanna make sure you get lines straight, lines even, knock off all excess hair, and just, get creative when you do it. Your corners are essential, especially for this part. The corner of your blade is essential. Like, you want to really master your corners. You want to make sure you have your corners sharp, but not too sharp. Sharp enough to where you get a nice, sharp, crispy line, but not too sharp to where you're not cutting and irritating this client's skin. Some clients just have sensitive skin, so if you see red marks on some of your clients, but they're telling you that your liners don't hurt or your clippers don't hurt, that's just their skin being sensitive and reacting. So still be mindful for that. You don't want to push too deep with clients that got sensitive skin and stuff like that. But your corners are essential. Make sure you utilize those to the best of your abilities. And here, this is a little step you'll see me do that a lot of people don't teach. When I turn them around, I actually step back just to eye it and make sure both sides are even. Because in a lot of haircut tutorials I see, they'll just tell you line one side up, line the other side up, and head on to the front, or do whatever you do. Me personally, I feel like, especially for beginners, when you don't know exactly how to match one thing up like the other. Me, I still struggle in the back with that sometimes. I ain't even gonna lie to you, especially if I've been cutting all day. You want to constantly just turn your client, step back, even if you got to look away for a second just to readjust your eyes and refocus your eyes. Step back and make sure everything's straight, everything's crooked. Make sure nothing's crooked. I messed that up a little bit. But yeah, just make sure all the lines are straight, crispy, sharp, and even. That's very important for beginners. Very important. And see, you'll see me doing that a few times. And then note, you'll see me just grabbing my the clippers I detail with. Like I said earlier, my Babyliss clippers is the main clipper I detail with. You'll see me grabbing those, just touching everything up, because you get a whole different eye and a whole different view for the fade once you actually put the line up on. The fade will look totally different once you put the line up on. So I just go in there, detail a little bit. I told you, you can never have too much detail work in your work. You can never have too much detail work. So now for the front of the head, I like to start in the middle, go all the way to the left, and box that off. Get that nice, crispy. A lot of people will probably teach you like just throw a lineup in first, just as like a rough draft, and then work from there. Me, I want my first line to be my best line, and then I crispy that up. I'm still going to come through and I'm still going to crispy it up. I'm still going to detail it, but I like all my lines for my line of work. I want everything to be straight and crispy as possible my first time around. When I do my lineups, I like to use my GTX exoskeleton clippers for the corners. I don't know why. It's just their corners they're unmatched to me. Like, I don't care how sharp any of my other liners are. It's no corners that compare to these corners to me. So, but that's just my preference. I mean, you can try it out. These clippers are actually really, really good for the whole lineup. Me personally, I like certain clippers for certain things. Like, I can use the GTXs on the full lineup, and later on I'll probably show you a demonstration with that. But for the most part, I like to use those solely for corners. And you already know, whatever you do to the left side, you do to the right side. I sped it up because I blocked a lot of the view, so you couldn't really see me do that side like that. So bear with me. I'm still learning the whole placement of the camera and all that stuff. So I'll sped this up for you a little bit. when applying enhancements, you want to make sure you don't overdo it. You just darken it up, give it a little bit of shade, a little bit more contrast, and you don't want to overdo it. You don't want somebody's line up to be jet black and the rest of their hair is like a blackish brown or a darker black, or you just want to fill it in. Give it a little bit of an enhancement, just don't over exaggerate it. I like to turn my motor down low and my needle down low, so that way it's not spraying as much as it would if I was to have it all the way up like most people's you've seen. That's just something that works for me. I do know if you do have it higher to where more of the enhancement spray is spraying out, pull your arm back a little bit, get a little further so that it's not getting blotchy and just overdoing it. After I apply my spray, I like to come around and you'll see me grab a tan chalk pencil. Those are essential. I told you guys that in a few other videos. Those could be a barber's best friend. Grab my tan chalk pencils, just go over his lineup and come back and hit it with a razor. And just watch how I make everything pop. When using your razor, you want to really make sure you stretch the skin as much as possible. That way you're not nicking your client, you're not cutting them, you're not hurting them or anything like that. You want your razor at about a 45-degree angle and just chip away at the excess hair. For all my clients, especially wavers or people that got like the curly froze still, I like to use my Shea moisturizer. It's a real soft product. It's good for all types of hair. Put that in there after the lineup, brush it down as best as I can. And then right now you'll see me coming back with my liners and just grazing over the hair. You want to do this especially for your wavers. Graze over the hair, knock down all the split hairs just to make sure that the waves really pop.
The two teams to win an NBA championship.
Well, I'm about to put so many hoes tomorrow.
They beat Shaq. This is 12 Pistons. So let me ask you a question.
Man, you better not let that motherfucker wait for.
On that San Antonio Spurs team.
I still thought my waves gonna be shit. I need to work on my size. That's what happened when I started whipping my shit. I was like, well, I don't be again. That shit.
So YouTube, that's the cut. Like, subscribe, comment. Let me know if y'all like it. Let me know what y'all want to see. Let me know what y'all want me to leave out. And just support me on this journey, man.